Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be discussing about the two-way mutual authentication in microservices or in any client-server application. That means in Java, how this two-way SSL works and how you can implement a client program which can authenticate against your client program in microservices or any other Java-based client-server application. So before going through all this, I hope you guys are aware of what is key store, what is trust store, and what is a private key and what is a public key. So the important thing here to notice that the JKS, the default format used for this file is JKS until Java 8. But starting from Java 9, the default key store format is PKCS 12. So now just to give you a basic overview how this two-way SSL works. So anytime a client application will connect to the server will present a certificate stored in the key store, and client will verify that certificate by comparing with the certificates stored on the trust store. Correspondingly, if the client also needs to authenticate itself in case of mutual authentication, then the client also has a key store and it also presents its public key and certificate. The client verifies the received certificate using the certificates stored in the client's trust store. In Java, it is the CSR store. If the server certificate validation is successful, the client will present the certificate stores in their key stores. Then the server validates the received certificate using the server trust store. So in our code, just it is very automated program implementing the both client key store and the trust store and the server key store and trust store. So all these you will be knowing basic about the key store trust store, but here just I have developed a client application which can directly talk to your HTTPS server, which is protected with the certificate. So here we have to just pass the certificate path and the key file. So just by passing that you can authenticate. So how this program has been developed, I'll explain you bit by bit. So in the Java configuration required for mutual TLS, the basic thing is you have to add a CS root certificate. That is the root certificate. It should be added to the Java trust store. In the trust store means it is the Java CSRs. So in all this, I am just reading the contents of the key file from the private key what you have mentioned the path. Here I have given just key file. It will read from the class path, but you have to mention any directory or anywhere you have placed. So by this, then instead of using the key tool command, here I have shown you how you can leverage the KeyStore API. So in that, what I have done, I have just created a KeyStore instance. You can see here, just by using the get instance method, you can say this is the type RSA I have mentioned. So then we have to initialize the KeyStore. Then you have to load the method here using the load method. So all this thing I have done just for decrypting the private key, because this private key is protected, is encrypted. So I have to decrypt first. So then during the TLS handshake, you have to pass the decrypted certificate, the private keys and the password. So this I have created a key store instance, get default type, it will be storing the JKS. Then you can see I have loading the key store and trust store. Then I'm setting the certificate entry here. Then I'm setting the private key and here the client side. At a time, this is setting the key entry. And then finally, what I'm doing, I'm just creating a SSL context here. So we can use SSL context without having any knowledge in trust manager, trust factory manager, key manager factory. Because just the advantage of SSL context is we don't need to understand more about in details. Just we have to provide an identity, a trust store. That's it. So just I have been providing here custom strategy. Here you can pass all strategy. That means it won't verify any strategy. If you have any custom strategy, you can verify. So this in details I've explained in other videos. You can refer to our other videos. So now this is the HTTP client I have developed. This Apache HTTP client requires a configured SSL context instance to enable a secure HTTPS connection. So here I have created a client, and with this client I'm passing the SSL connection factory. So here I have developed a utility program that can import OpenSSL formatted private keys into a Java key store programmatically in any microservice, which will preserving the JKS file format. So this is the, as I'm using Java 8, so by default format is JKS. Then I am just hitting one of my server URL I have developed. So any server URL you can pass, whatever any microservice application you can refer here. I'm using just a simple get method which will return the version. So I'll execute this program in command line and you can see how it works. Then I'm parsing this JSON, just printing what is the response from the server. This is just using the HTTPS authentication. So just I'm executing the program here in my command line. So this is my maven I have given here, and you know this path I have given, whatever my certificate and key file path. Now I'll execute my program. So you can see here it is authenticating with the server against the certificate. See, I got the response. So that's how it works. So you can directly use our code I have been pasted in our site. You can refer our GitHub link so that you can check how we have developed our code, and similarly you can also develop the utility program wherever you want. You can use it in your microservice application or any Java based client server application, which will really literally will save you a lot of time, you know, learning about all these keystore trusted, how a very simple program I have developed here which will be utilized across all your HTTPS authentication client program. Thank you.